ina ninyong lahat. Martin Romualdez, Lisa Marcos, Bongbong Marcos. Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. No joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes.
Ito pong number 74 sinasabi na ito daw po yung elements na inciting to sedition. So, batay po dyan sa sinasabi ninyo at sa napanood po nating video earlier, yung po bang ginawa ni VP Sara ay inciting to sedition?
Based on the investigation conducted by the NBI and on the certification issued by the Department of Justice in relation to the Department Circular 20, the NBI submitted, or the complaint referred by the NBI, which includes inciting to sedition, contains all the necessary evidence to prove the essential elements of the crime and should be docketed for preliminary investigation.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So you confirm po that that you submitted a copy of the video that you authenticated to the Committee on Justice, and what we played earlier is the authenticated video.
Yes, Your Honor, it's part of the authenticated video.
Okay, tapos dahil dito po sa inyong proseso ng pag-authenticate, sigurado po tayo na hindi edited, altered, or AI yung video po na hawak po ninyo at pinasa niyo po sa amin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
We now recognize again the Honorable Percy Sendanya.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. For recap lang po, mabilis. So kanina po, pinlay natin yung video, tapos tinanong po natin sa NBI kung yung batay ba sa video na yon ay inciting to sedition yung ginawa ni VP Sara, at ang sagot po nila is on the affirmative. Nakasite din po kasi yung usapin ng grave threats dun po sa kanilang affidavit. So tanong lang po sa NBI, batay po sa inyong affidavit investigation, yun po bang ginawa ni VP Sara, grave threats po ba yon?
Base po sa ebidensya na nakalap ng NBI at na-submit po sa Department of Justice for the purpose of preliminary investigation, ang naging findings po ng NBI, the acts of the Vice President constitutes grave threats.
So inulit ko lang po, so sinasabi po ng NBI, yung ginawa na yun ni VP Sara sa napanood nating video ay inciting to sedition at grave threats. May nabanggit din po kayo sa page 28, reasonable certainty of conviction for VP Sara for inciting to sedition and grave threats. Ano pong ibig sabihin ng reasonable certainty of conviction para po sa ating mga tagapanood?
Noong March 31, 2023, ang Department of Justice po ay nag-issue ng Department Circular number 20 na kung saan po ang standard or quantum of proof ng in carrying out the roles of the investigators and as well as the prosecutors, ini-ensure po dapat ng mga investigators as well as the prosecutors that there must be a prima facie case. I am citing Section 2 of Department Circular 20, and that there must be a reasonable certainty of conviction based on available documents, witnesses, real evidence, and the like.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a very brief manifestation before I yield the time to the next member of the committee. Mahalagang paalala po, huwag nating ugaliing pagbantaan ang buhay ng kahit sino man. Krimen po yun. And we were expecting that the Vice President knows this. The threat alone is a separate crime from homicide or murder. Sabi nga ng NBI, there is reasonable certainty of conviction against VP Sara on 1 count of inciting to sedition and 3 counts of grave threats. Kung hindi tama ang ugaling ito para sa second highest official of the land, mas lalong hindi po ito karapat-dapat para sa isang tao na nag-aambisyon na maging highest official of the land. Inuulit po natin, grave threat, inciting to sedition, sinasabi ng NBI, ginawa po yan ni VP Sara. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Sendanya.
Agent Kalilong, lahat ng mga tanong ko ay una, magagaling po sa affidavit of investigation niyo po. Walang bagong evidence, no probing questions, only clarificatory questions. The point of this is, in order to determine probable cause, we must first establish na may totoong security threat. No? Kasi may mga tao na nagsasabi na biro lang yan or conditional siya. But I need to know whether or not the security sector saw this as a tangible security threat. With that being said, Agent Kalilong, base sa Part 3, Paragraph 16 ng Affidavit of Investigation nyo, Annex I, no? Affidavit of Authentication of Digital Evidence, nag-statement din si PBBM noong November 24, 2024 na nakakabahala ang mga pahayag ni VP Duterte, lalo na ang threat sa kanyang buhay. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Base naman sa Part 3, Paragraph 22 ng Affidavit of Investigation at Annex O ng Affidavit of Authentication of Digital Evidence, sinabi ng Philippine National Police sa isang statement na in light of Vice President Sara Duterte's recent statement, which directly referenced an assassin contracted to target the president, the PNP recognizes the grave nature of this matter. Tama po ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Tama din po ba na mula sa parehong statement na sinabi din na the safety of the president is a matter of is a national concern and any direct or indirect threat to his life must be addressed with the highest level of urgency. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Moving forward, base dito naman sa Part 3, no? Paragraph 23 ng Affidavit of Investigation at Annex P ng Affidavit of Authentication of Digital Evidence, sinabi din ng National Security Council sa isang statement, the National Security Council considers all threats to the President of the Philippines as serious. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Tama po ba na gumawa po kayo ng investigation into this matter? Tama?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama din na nagsampa po kayo ng kaso.
Yes, Your Honor.
What case did you file?
3 counts of grave threat and 1 count of inciting to sedition.
And you would not file this if you did not believe that there was a valid threat.
Based on investigation, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Madam Chair, with that being said, I would just like to make a quick manifestation on the matter.
You may proceed, Honorable Po.
Madam Chair, I believe that this assassination plot against the President, the First Lady, and former Speaker of the House not only spread throughout our country, but also made headlines internationally, and for the wrong reasons. No, this put into question our stability and our national security. Could we see some of those headlines? I just want it on the record.
All right. So the headlines provided by the NBI have been submitted. Now it is on our big screen.
Madam Chair, the reason why I bring this up is because this is no ordinary threat. No, this is a threat by the Vice President against the President of the Republic of the Philippines. And people around the world took note of that, questioning our stability and our national security. I remember a case in 2018 of a teacher who had made a similar threat online and was arrested by the PNP. He was not a public official. He was an ordinary Filipino citizen. This committee has to take into consideration that moment, no, in 2018, because we are sending a message with the decision that we make today on probable cause. I would like to thank the resource persons for confirming the statements of the National Security Council, the Philippine National Police, and the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Maraming salamat po.
You mentioned about the video of the teacher. The
Uh,
clip about the teacher.
I mentioned that in 2018 po, there was a teacher who had been arrested for having posted on social media that there
Do you
would,
have a news clip also about that teacher?
I do not believe we have a clip. Do we have a clip of it?
Can we flash again the headlines earlier requested by the Honorable Po? I just want to place on record, Honorable Po, if you wish to read, the headlines from the international news platform.
Yes, para na sa record natin. From CBS News, Philippines Vice President publicly threatens to have the nation's president assassinated. CNN World states Philippine Vice President says she would have Marcos assassinated if she is killed. Reuters has Philippines boost security after VP's assassination threat against the president. And the Hindustan Times says the Philippine VP Sara Duterte makes big statement. She says, "If I die," and so
All
on.
right, that is for the record. You have other manifestations?
No, Madam Chair, just the fact that this will set precedents on how we deal with matters of national security, and we must take this seriously.
All right. The Honor, Director Melvin Matibag.
Yeah, Madam Chair, just for the record, based on what the Honorable Congressman Brian po mentioned, we confirm that in 2018 there was a teacher, teacher.
Do you have a news clip of that public school teacher?
We don't have it now, but we can have it authenticated.
For the guidance of the members, Honorable Po is trying to establish the two standards that we are observing with respect to the threat committed by the teacher who was immediately arrested.
Yes.
And a case was filed and convicted, correct?
Hindi po ma'am, ganito nga po, kaya po ako gusto magsalita. Kasi po, nung panahon na yun, ang umaresto rin po dito kay Ronel May, ang NBI po. NBI din po, siya po inaaresto pagkatapos ng 10 araw na nagbigay siya ng pronouncement na nadudos sa social media na kung sino man ang papatay kay dating Pangulong Duterte nung panahon na yun ay magkakaroon ng pabuya na 50 million. At nagkaroon po ng manhunt, inaresto siya after 10 days na aresto. At to my recollection, lumuhod yung tao na nagmamakaawa, na sinabi na hindi naman seryoso, nagbibiro lang. The point is, why are we saying this? Is because we in the law enforcement, the National Bureau of Investigation, we considered all the threat to the President and to any official of the government a serious threat. Hindi po ito pwedeng biro-biro. And yung mga pinakita nga pong video kanina dyan, yan po ay pinag-aralan at naging parte ng pagdidesisyon ng National Bureau of Investigation para habla ng isang criminal case po kay Vice President Sara Duterte na ngayon ay nakapending sa Department of Justice. So, ang punto nga dyan, kami po ay kumikilos, ang NBI kumikilos, anumang threat, sino man po ang binigyan ng threat. In fact, to my recollection, nung inimbitahan po si Vice President Sara at meron din siyang aligasyon na may threat din sa kanya, we want to pursue it. Pero wala naman po at hindi rin po siya dumalo dun po sa pagpapatawag po ng National Bureau of Investigation.
Madam
All
Chair.
right. Honorable Po.
Madam Chair, just to manifest, it's important to highlight this because it shows due process. There was a threat, it was investigated, and in the end, he was released naman. Our purpose here is to determine probable cause. It's not to make a final decision on anything. The point here is investigation. If it's found out later on that there was no viable threat, then that's part of what we have to do sa trial. We're not there yet. We're on probable cause. Kaya I bring this up because what happened in 2018 is part of due process. This too is part of due process. Just trying to be fair, Madam Chair.
We know the manifestation of the Honorable Po. Any other manifestation from the Director of the NBI?
Gusto ko lang pong dagdagan dun sa sinasabi po ni Honorable Brian po na actually hindi po ito pinawalan ng law enforcement. Nagkaroon po ito ng kaso talaga. It so happened na kaya po hindi nagtuloy-tuloy yung kaso, there was a finding of illegal arrest kasi hindi naman siya yung parang naging continue. Dapat po nag-direct filing. Ang ginawa nung hinulip, pinapasok po sa inquest ano po. But as to make a comment dun sa due process po na dapat pare-pares yung standards, sa National Bureau of Investigation, we want to make sure na kung ano po yung ginawa ng isang ordinaryong tao at ng mataas na opisyal na parehas po na krimen, ay kailangan po naming habulin at papanagutin po sa ilalim po ng ating batas.
All the comments of the NBI director are noted by the committee. Let's proceed.
Yun naman pong video pagkatapos niyan na biglang sinabi niyang hindi na raw siya dadalo sa SONA ni PBBM at ina-appoint niya yung sarili niya bilang designated survivor.
It was considered during our investigation, Your Honor.
Okay.
Did you submit that video also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Secretariat, kindly play the video.
Attend ka sa SONA.
No. No, I will not attend the SONA. I am appointing myself as the designated survivor.
Okay. Yan po yung video. Pinatotohanan niyo ho ba na yan yung inyong inimbestigahan?
Yes, kasama po sa conduct of investigation and an ongoing investigation po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable Ko.
Ako muna.
But before Honorable Ko,
In reference to the
few
manifestation.
follow-up question lang from the Honorable Chua. Got it, Madam Chair.
Just a brief manifestation, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, alam po ninyo yung designated survivor, no? Gusto ko lang i-emphasize na hindi po natin po pwedeng baliwalain ito. Kasi sa Amerika po o sa ibang bansa, ito pong tinatawag nating designated survivor ay ito po ay protocol sa US government. Ito po ay inakma dun sa isang makikita po natin yung konsepto nito dun po sa isang TV series sa Amerika, yung designated survivor. So ang ibig sabihin po nito, Madam Chair, doon po sa Amerika, pagka meron pong isang malaking pagtitipon kung saan nandoon lahat ang mga top brass o lahat ng mga matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno mula presidente, vice-presidente, mga cabinet secretary, senador, mga congressman. Kumbaga, ikukumpara po natin dito sa ating present setup. Ito po yung tinatawag nating SONA. Sa Amerika po, meron pong isang opisyal ng gobyerno na sineseparate nila o hindi nila pina-attend doon sa pagtitipon na yon ng kagaya ng SONA. Yun ang tinatawag nilang designated survivor. Ang purpose po nun, in the event na may mangyari, halimbawa po, nagkaroon po ng catastrophic event, nagkaroon ng matinding lindol, nagkaroon ng matinding halimbawa o binomba yung isang lugar kung saan nandoon lahat ang mga matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno. Meron pong isang matitira, yung designated survivor, siya po ang tatayo o hahaliling presidente ng bansa. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng designated survivor. Ngayon, ang tanong ko po, bakit po ito binabanggit ng ating vice-presidente? Meron po ba siyang alam na masamang mangyayari nung panahon na yon? O may alam ba ang ating vice-presidente na mangyayari kaya ayaw po niyang dumalo sa SONA? So ito po yung mga katanungan na hindi po natin dapat binabaliwala. So yun lang po, Madam Chair.
Madam
Before we proceed, our parliamentary status, we are conducting the clarificatory hearing for the allegations of threat and destabilization acts. Noted. Now we recognize the Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Alam niyo po, maaaring fiction po yung series ng designated survivor sa US. Kaso lang, hindi po ito biro sa atin. Unang-una, dahil ang nagbigkas po ng mga salitang yan ay yung mismong makikinabang kung merong mangyari sa buhay ng ating presidente. She is the direct beneficiary of anything that will happen to the president. And thereby designating herself as a survivor means that she may be entertaining some thought or there are some, things that may happen to the president. And as we all know, the president, the highest elected official of the land, whose life must remain secure, yung series ng designated survivor sa US. Kaso lang, hindi po ito biro sa atin. Unang-una, dahil ang nagbigkas po ng mga salitang yan ay yung mismong makikinabang kung merong mangyari sa buhay ng ating presidente. She is the direct beneficiary of anything that will happen to the president. And thereby designating herself as a survivor means that she may be entertaining some thought or there are some, things that may happen to the president. And as we all know, the president, the highest elected official of the land, whose life must remain secure because of the responsibilities and the duties that he holds. So we should not take this lightly, Madam Chair. Yes, it may be a basis of some series, and all the reason why it should be the basis because there is so much significance in that statement that was uttered, Madam Chair. So I would just like to put that on record. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez. Now we are done. Then we recognize the Honorable Rog Gutierrez
Thank you,
for
Madam Chair.
his clarificatory questions.
Madam Chair, just on that point po, no, and I do agree that tama rin naman po yung ginagawa ng NBI that in relation to the threat video, they're looking at other videos to provide context. And actually, naalala ko lang po, there was another video, I think, that was a pronouncement by a family member of the Vice President in relation to a sort of political destiny of sorts. Yung dun tungkol sa mga Romanov at mga Mussolini. I would just like to clarify, Madam Chair, was that also included for context in the investigation of the NBI?
May we hear from the NBI? The Honorable Gutierrez is asking if the video about Romanov is part of your submissions.
Yes, Your Honor, it's part of the submission.
The
but,
same has been authenticated
yes,
as well?
Yes, Your Honor, but it's being considered on an ongoing investigation.
It's part of your ongoing investigation.
Honor.
What's the pleasure of the Honorable Gutierrez?
Madam Chair, that was just a clarification po, no, kung na-consider. That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Bel Zamora.
short manifestation. I believe that all of us saw this video also wherein the brother of the Vice President referred to the Romanovs.
If I may interrupt, since we are discussing on the video, for the guidance of the members, since it's part of the submission, with the indulgence of the members, may we play that video?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes? So, Secretariat, please be directed to play the video about that Romanov.
Just a simple message sa ato ang Pangulo. From now on, before you go to bed, think of the Romanovs. Think of Benito Mussolini and his wife. And think of what happened to you in 1986. And maybe you'll reconsider the direction that you are taking.
Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to make a brief manifestation regarding that video. Maybe I'll give a little crash course on history. The Romanovs were the ruling imperial dynasty in Russia from the 1600s to the early 1900s, Madam Chair. And why? At sila po ang royal family noong 1900s until 1917. Noong 1917, nagkaroon po ng February uprising kung saan napilitan mag-abdicate o i-give up ni Tsar Nicholas II ang kanyang pwesto dahil may communist uprising. Pagkatapos po, October 1917, merong another uprising by the Bolsheviks, which was led by Vladimir Lenin, And ano pong nangyari dito? Kaya mahalaga itong Romanovs na to. Sila po, ang buong pamilya, ang mag-asawa na si Tsar Nicholas II, si Tsarina Alexandra at ang kanilang 5 anak ay kinuha, nilagay sa isang house sa Siberia at isang araw pinagpapapatay po silang lahat. So, yun po ang reference, nakababahala po ang reference nila sa Romanovs. Bakit naman din po nila babanggitin si Benito Mussolini? Sino ba to? Ang fascist dictator from 1922 to 1943 ng Italy. He allied himself with Hitler and the Axis powers until he was removed by King Victor Emmanuel and executed in 1945. The point is, Madam Chair, nakababahala nga ang kanilang reference sa ganitong mga okasyon, sa ganitong mga tao, and their propensity to refer to executions or to idolize dictators is appalling and should not be countenanced. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
That is very enlightening. Can we hear first the appreciation of the NBI? Having heard the history from the Honorable Zamora, how did the NBI appreciate this video of Mayor Baste?
Yeah, well, thank you for the cross-court history. Although we already have traced back why there's a referral on that matter. So, and I tend to agree with the Honorable Zamora that the reason why we're still considering what we're saying, that there is an ongoing investigation, because just recently, I think first week of April, there was a rally in Club Filipino when they launched the Rage. Even the name, you'll see it, Rage. So, wherein the Mayor Baste Duterte made reference to kuhain yung ulo ng Pangulong Marcos, ano? And we've noticed a pattern na paulit-ulit, laging sinasabi, kuhain yung ulo. I think there was also a video submitted by NBI, which was also being considered in the ongoing investigation, that Vice President Sara Duterte also referring to remove the head. Ano? And I'd like to make a reference on the earlier statement of Honorable De Lima on the pattern of behavior of the family. So lahat po yan ay recorded naman and been publicly used. And yun pa po yung isang nagiging challenge sa amin sa NBI, because again, just recently when the President Bongbong Marcos was present live in Palayan, Isabela, meron pong isang individual doon sa live na nag-post na barili na yan. So it's very alarming dahil hindi na, parang continuing na po yung threat sa ating Pangulo. And kami naman po sa law enforcement, any threat to the President or high official in government, we consider it as a threat to the national security. So it's good that these things are being raised here. So in addition to that, I issued a memorandum circular, administrative order number 11 po, dahil sunod-sunod na nga yung mga threat po na nakikita namin sa social media, creating a task force to continue to investigate this matter.
That's Administrative Order number 11.
Yes, ma'am. And
What
it's
do you
part
call the task force?
yung wala naman pong official name, but it's a task force to monitor all the threats to the President and to all other officials in government.
Is that part
Na-
of your submission also?
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
committee?
Although it's not directed particularly to the Dutertes, but it's directed po to, in general, sa lahat po. But this is an offshoot because of the behavior po of the family of Duterte.
In other words, Director Matibag, the reason why you are considering all these videos, Director Matibag, is for you to be guided on whether or not threat was actually committed?
As to the press conference of Vice President Duterte, it's already been established by the Bureau.
It's
Even
established already.
Long before I came to the Bureau, nandiyan naman po yung records, the record which speaks for itself, na the threat, the grave threat and the inciting to sedition are clear. All the elements were present, and dyan po, we're just awaiting for the decision of the prosecution service.
May we just know for the record, because you mentioned a while ago that there is a follow-up investigation. May we know the purpose of the follow-up investigation if you have resolved already the offense of threat that was committed against the first couple and the former speaker? How about the follow-up investigation?
It's an ongoing investigation po. If you recall, dun po sa video ni Vice President, sinabi niya na no joke, nag-hire na siya ng assassin, ano po. And we're trying to identify and pinpoint the assassin. And just to let you know, we have leads already. We have some personalities that we are nagsusurveillance at sinusundan po namin. But I have to caution you and immediately say that I apologize that we cannot name the names of those individuals naming sinusundan. But we are zeroing on several individuals already na maaaring yun po yung kinausap niya doon sa threat na ginawa po niya.
Wait, let me confirm. You said that you have leads about the assassins hired by the Vice President?
Yes, ma'am. Meron po kaming leads na mukhang talagang, at yun naman po yung findings na talagang may kinausap, kaya nga po nag-file ng kaso ng grave threat at inciting to sedition. Ano po.
And this is the assassin hired to kill the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, which we saw from her video.
Yun po yung part ng aming ongoing case build-up and to solidify po kung ito yung individual talaga. If you recall, meron pong mention, it's not been denied, na meron pong itinayong Vice President Sara, parang Vice Presidential Security Group, yung sarili niyang group. So, yun na lang, in general, we're looking on those individuals in the close associates of the Vice President.
Can you expound on the Vice President Security Group? What is the significance of this to your ongoing investigation?
Well, meron po kasing mga na-identify dyan na still in the military service and marami rin po dyan yung no longer in the military service. Ano po.
So,
remember, yung sinusundan po natin is the second highest ranking official of the country. So she has the network. So, kaya po kailangan nating sundang maigi at i-surveillance po yung mga nakakausap at mga kinausap po.
is it correct to say that the subject matter of your follow-up investigation is the statement of the Vice President that he has hired an assassin?
Yes po, doon po talaga yon dahil we considered it as a serious and actual threat to the life of the President, kaya kailangan po naming bantayan.
And you consider the creation of the Vice President Security Group significant in the investigation of this having hired an assassin?
Para sa amin po, yes, because it is very unusual to a Vice President. If you will look at the history of other Vice Presidents, hindi po ganun karami yung security group na nakabantay po sa kanila.
Madam
When you
Chair.
say hindi po ganito karami, can you give us an idea how many security does the Vice President have in comparison with those
Well,
who serve as Vice Presidents?
I'm not sure what is the number, but during the time of Vice President Lenny, I think it's not even more than 30. Pero dito po, hundreds po yung security na tinayo po nila.
You are saying that during the time of Mayor Lenny, Vice President Lenny, around 30.
That is
And
my recollection po.
during the time of VP Sara, how many?
Hundreds po ngayon yan yung na-identify dyan
By hundreds? Is it 100, 200?
More than is, I think it's ranging from 500 po. Nagbawas
500?
Makikita nyo naman po yan, di ba, dun sa paggasta dun sa confidential fund na mention po yan
So this is 30 versus 500? Is that what you're saying, Director Matibag?
This is unusual po. It's not usual do sa comparison. And we're looking back also as far as the other vice president at that time.
Thank you. Now,
Madam Chair,
may we... Yes, I was about to call you. We
Thank you.
recognize the Honorable Tino and then the Honorable Vice Chair Brian Po.
Thank you. Actually, Madam Chair, yung napag-uusapan ngayon ni NBI Director Matibag, actually yan yung precisely yung ating line of questioning. Kung babalikan po natin yung statement, yung threat ni Vice President Sara Duterte na siya mismo ang bumigkas, let me quote, yes, huwag kang mag-alala ma'am, sa security ko kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. So yun po ang sinabi niya rito. Tapos yung kinausap niya na tao, yun yung sinabi niya na pumayag na papatayin niya ang Pangulo, ang First Lady at ang former Speaker kung siya ay mapatay. Tama po ba? Hindi po ba ganun ang eksaktong statement ng Vice President?
Tama po. Kasi kaya nga po, we arrive with that conclusion that the threat will be ongoing. Until such time na makita po natin kung sino yung kinausap, or unless the Vice President will reveal it, which I think it's impossible, hindi po natin pwedeng alisin yung threat po sa ating Pangulo.
Okay. So again, malinaw po, idiin po natin sa mismong statement ng Vice President, yung nakita nating video kanina, sinabi naman niya no, na sa security ko kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Pangalawa, and then he said yes. So dalawa po ang na-reveal dito. Una, na yung kinausap niya ay galing sa kanyang security. Pangalawa, na lalaki ito, di ba? He said yes. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. So, medyo narrow down po. Pag sinabi pong security ng Vice President, again, ito nga po, katulad ng binanggit nyo, yung Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group. Tama po?
Tama po yan.
At ang pinuno niyan at that time ay itong si Colonel Raymond Dante Lachica. Tama po?
That is correct po.
Okay. So, inimbestigahan nyo na po ba ang VP SPG, including Colonel Lachica, kaugnay dito?
Yun nga po yung aming sinasabi,
Okay.
there is an ongoing investigation, and in fact, we are coordinating with other agency so that we can pinpoint who is that individual po.
Okay, so napakahalaga po sa recommendation dito sa affidavit of investigation, ang recommendation na po ng NBI ay sampahan ng kaso ng grave threats, 3 counts of grave threats ang Vice President at saka inciting to sedition. Pero hindi po maaring matapos doon dahil lumalabas may isa pang party, no? Bukod sa Vice Presidente, meron siyang kinausap at meron siyang napapayag, sumang-ayon na pumatay sa Presidente, sa First Lady at sa dating Speaker, no? So in other words, hindi lang po, tama po ba sabihin, hindi lang po simpleng nag-hire ng hitman ang Vice Presidente, kung hindi ang hitman na ito ay posibleng miyembro mismo ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Tama po ba?
It's always it's a possibility because the members po ng Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group, sabi ko nga po, may mga active members po ng military po dyan.
Okay. So, in other words, yung betrayal of public trust po dito ay hindi lamang sa mga krimen na nabanggit, kung hindi, dahil nga pinapayag pa ng Vice Presidente at inamin niyang napapayag niya na ang isang miyembro ng Armed Forces mismo ang pumatay, no? At hindi lang ng ordinaryong mamamayan, kung hindi ng Commander-in-Chief mismo at ng iba pang mga individual at opisyal. So, yun lamang po, Madam Chair. Kailangang madiin po natin na ganong kabigat, no, ang inamin ng Vice Presidente sa sarili niyang mga pananalita
nakitang-kita natin sa video. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Sa NBI po, base po sa Part 3, Paragraph 10 ng Affidavit of Investigation, meron din po kayo iniimbestigahan na video noong pong October 18, 2024, kung saan sa isa pong press conference ng atin pong Pangulong Pangulo, which is also referred to in Paragraph 114 of the Sabalia complaint, kanya pong sinabi na gusto niya daw pong tanggalin ang ulo niya. Si Pangulong Marcos po ang tinutukoy po dito, hindi po ba? Tama po ba ito? Do you confirm it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can we flash that part of that particular affidavit? Okay. Tama rin po ba na dito sa video po na ito, again in reference to paragraph 114 of the Sabalia complaint, sinabi po ng Pangalawang Pangulo ang sumusunod. Una, gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya. Pangalawa, I imagine myself cutting his head. Pangatlo, so noon na-realize ko na toxic na, di ba? Ganyan na yung imagination mo. Sinasakal mo na yung tao. Then I said, this is over. Ikaapat, hindi marunong maging presidente ang nakaupo. Kasalanan ko ba iyon? Ikalima, hindi ko alam. Isang beses, sinabihan ko talaga si Senator Amy, pag di tumigil, huhukayin ko ang tatay ninyo at itatapon ko siya sa West Philippine Sea. At pang-anim, kung president nyo siya, okay lang. Ako hanggang vice president lang ako. Hanggang number 2 lang itong bansa na ito. Wala itong number 1 para sa akin. Is this an accurate representation of the video we are referring to?
Yes, Your Honor. It is included in the October 18, 2024 video, which was also authenticated, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, may we request the committee to play the clips of this particular video that we are referring to?
Committee Secretary, can we please play the clip, the video clip, referred to by Congressman Terry Rodon?
Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba? Gusto ko tanggalin yung ulo niya ba?
All right, can we proceed
Gusto
to the next video, please?
Comsec, can we play
Imagine
the longer
myself
video?
cutting his head. Gusto ko, ganun din ang gusto ko gawin doon sa mga katabi ko.
All right, next clip, please.
Madam Chair, I didn't quite see the video. Can we just play it because parang blurred eh? Can I request that the ComSec play it again? Thank you very much, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Comsec, kindly play the video again with the volume on max.
Imagine myself cutting his head. Gusto ko, ganun din ang gusto ko gawin doon sa mga katabi ko.
Can we proceed?
Madam Chair,
All right.
just a point of clarification.
Go ahead, DS
Um,
Suarez.
Maybe the good congressman from Bicol Saro can answer my question. Doon po sa video na nirequest yung ipalabas, may binanggit po na cutting his. So sino po yung his that the Vice President was pertaining to?
I understand.
NBI? Who would be in a better position to answer that question?
Deputy Speaker, I understand that the NBI had already responded. Maybe the response can be repeated as to who is the person being referred to in this clip.
If you would see the whole video, it was referred to the President, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Can you repeat that again? Pakiulit nga kung sino.
If you could see the whole video that was submitted, Your Honor, it is the President that was referred, Your Honor.
The President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
All right. Can we proceed to the third video, please?
Comsec, please play the third video.
So doon, na-realize ko, toxic na, di ba? Ganyan na yung imagination mo. Ang imagination mo, sinasakal mo na yung tao. And then I said, this is over.
All right. Do we need to replay it or we can proceed?
Go ahead,
We
Congressman.
can proceed to the fourth video, please.
Comsec, yes. Go ahead.
Hindi marunong maging presidente ang nakaupo. Kasalanan ko ba yun?
Please proceed to the fifth video, please.
Pero isang beses sinabihan ko talaga si Senator Amy. Sabi ko sa kanya, kung hindi kayo tumigil, huhukayin ko yung tatay ninyo. Itatapon ko siya sa West Philippine Sea.
Can we be clarified from the NBI before proceeding to the last clip? Who is this tatay ninyo that the Vice President might be referring to? Would you know?
The father of the President, Ferdinand Marcos, Your Honor. Senior.
All right, thank you. Can we proceed to the last clip?
So, kung presidente nyo siya, okay lang. Ako, hanggang vice president lang ako. Hanggang number 2 lang itong bansa na ito. Wala itong number 1 para sa akin.
This is not simply a threat punishable under a statute. This is not simply a threat that is defined under the revised penal code. But this is an impeachable offense which violates the Constitution. Thus, it is betrayal of public trust. Thus, it is a high crime, regardless of whether it is a threat, because of the gravity of this act by the Vice President. So remember, it is not a simple crime under a statute or a law, but this is an impeachable offense under the Constitution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Thank you. Honorable Laila De Lima.
I'm constrained to add also to what was stated by the Honorable Defensor on that matter. We have to consider, Madam Chair, let us be very clear about the gravity of who was threatened. The President is not just an individual. He is the embodiment of executive power, the Commander-in-Chief, and the central figure in maintaining national stability. A threat against the life of the President is not a private matter. It is a direct threat to the continuity of government itself. Kapag ang Pangulo ang binabantaan ay ang pamahalaan na kanyang pinamumunuan. And here, Madam Chair, the concern is even more serious. These hearings have shown that the Vice President is not speaking in a vacuum. There are allegations and patterns that point to access, influence, and capacity to carry out violence. From long-standing associations with violent enforcement mechanisms to the normalization of force in political conduct, these are not abstract risks. They are real, credible, and deeply alarming. This is precisely why such statements cannot be dismissed as rhetoric. They must be treated as dangerous and actionable threats. They constitute inciting to sedition. By publicly invoking violence against the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House, she is legitimizing and encouraging acts of hostility against persons in authority. At hindi lang po pagbabanta ito sa mga pinangalanang opisyal. Atake ito sa pundasyon ng ating pamahalaan. Insulto ito sa bawat Pilipinong gumagalang sa batas at pinahalagahan ng pagkasagrado ng buhay. Yes, sabi nga po ni Representative, the Honorable Defensor, this is not just a criminal issue. This is impeachable conduct. The Constitution is clear. Public office is a public trust, yet the evidence shows conduct that endangers that trust at its very core. At kung papaglapasin lang ho natin malinaw ang mensahe, pwedeng bantahan ang Pangulo at walang pananagutan. This is not just about one official. Madam Chair, the evidence before us is serious, substantial, and alarming. If we fail to act on this, we do not just ignore a threat, we weaken the very foundations of accountability in this country. Maraming salamat po.
I've said this during the 19th Congress in one of our press cons, sabi ko. Ang joke po talaga dito is yung iniisip nila na joke o ka-joke-joke o pa-joke-joke lang po yung sinasabi nilang joke itong mga threat sa First Family. I believe this is a serious threat at sigurado po ako na active threat ito sa buhay po ng Pangulo, ng First Lady at sa former Speaker. Hanggang ngayon, naniniwala po ako na ito ay active threat sa ating Pangulo. Kaya maganda rin po na nandito ang mga kasama po natin sa NBI at mga kasama po natin na kongresista. Sana po mabigyan po ng kaukulang atensyon to. Nag-hearing na nga po tayo pero baka kailangan po tignan maigi ang seguridad ng ating Pangulo. We have to protect the President. We have to protect President Bongbong Marcos. And for my last manifestation, siguro direkta na po ito sa direkta ko pong kakausapin ng ating Pangulo na sa aming native na language. Agannad kayo po Presidente, aduti dakas nga tao nga handag sardeng agaramid ti madi. Tanong lang hang kayong hanyo maala, hanyo magunod datoy nga tagumpay para ti presidency kin para ti Pilipinas. Thank you very much.